This is handled by the Y variable. I'm Yahima. This is the show where we bridge generations in the workplace with strategy that sticks. Each week, we translate the untold rules of work into actionable insights, real challenges between managers and early career talent. No buzzwords, no generic advice, just practical frameworks that actually work for both sides. And if this is the first time you're listening, I'd love it if you liked, subscribed, and commented on this episode, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. So let's just dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about the untold rule that nobody teaches. Part of your job is managing your manager. I know you weren't hired to be a manager, but you're expected to manage up. And if you don't, you're seen as reactive, not strategic. Is the invisible expectation. Today, I'm making it explicit what managing up actually means, why it's a skill, not manipulation, and 3 frameworks that you can start using tomorrow. Okay, let's break down this untold rule. What managing up actually means. So it means being proactive and communicating with your manager in a way that makes your job easier as well as their job. You're not waiting to be managed. You're actively managing the relationship. So what it's not brown nosing. It's strategic, not fake. And you're not doing their job. You're not becoming their assistant. So for Gen Z, this may be invisible to you because you grew up with really collaborative, flat hierarchies, and you expect transparency and safety. So when you enter a workplace and you have to manage up, it probably feels backward. But here's the invisible reality. Your manager is juggling 5, maybe even 15 other people, and they have their own manager demands. They may be doing 2 to 3 jobs worth of work, and they can't read minds. Even good managers need you to manage up. And what I'm saying, you might think, well, this shouldn't be the way it is, but it's the truth. And nobody tells you this explicitly. It's just assumed you'll figure it out. If you're finding this helpful, and if this is the kind of workplace reality check you wished you had gotten earlier, please hit that subscribe button. I break down untold rules every week, and I don't want you to miss them. Let's go to the frameworks. So the first framework, the proactive status update. Your manager needs 3 things regularly. What you're working on so they can spot conflicts, where you're stuck so they can unblock you, what you're achieving so that they can advocate for you. So this is your action item. Send a weekly update unprompted. Just outline what you're focused on, your priorities, where you maybe need input or you have specific requests, and what you've completed. Those are your wins. It's 5 minutes. That's it. And this practice saves hours of miscommunication, and it positions you as incredibly reliable. Second framework, solutions, not problems. And this is one of those other invisible expectations. They want to know, your manager wants to know that you've thought about it. Instead of, the client timeline is a problem, try being proactive. Look, I know that the timeline is a bit delayed. Here are a couple solutions. Can we talk about this? You can simply say, the client timeline's shifted. I brainstormed a few options. Maybe we extend the deadline or we reduce the scope. You don't need the perfect solution, but you need to show that you have been thinking through the problem. People want to see that you deliver solutions, not just that you bring problems to their table. Framework number 3, understand your manager's world. Here's what's invisible. Your manager has success metrics and pressures that you don't see. So what I want you to do is ask them directly. Here's a couple of examples. So what I want you to do is ask them direct questions, like, how do you prefer to get updates? What does success look like for you this quarter? What's your biggest concern right now? And once you have that intel, use that information. If they're really stressed about retaining clients, you can proactively send them positive client feedback. If they prefer Slack, for example, for quick answers, use Slack. Match their communication styles and their priorities and their rhythm. Here's a bonus framework. Be preemptive. Don't wait for fires. Flag problems early. You can give them a heads up. You can say, look, the timelines for this quarter, I can see that they're really delayed. Can we start exploring some workarounds? Okay, just a brief pause here. If you're already thinking about how you're going to use some of these frameworks tomorrow, please do me a favor and like this video. It helps other people find these untold rules too. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. We're making what's invisible visible every single week. Now, for the managers, if you are managing Gen Z, just realize, that's not automatic that they're trying to be difficult when they don't manage up naturally. Many of them are operating in the dark because this expectation was invisible to them. So make it explicit. When you have your first one-on-one, tell them that part of their role as managing up is proactively keeping you informed, it's asking you questions, and let them know that you're not bothered by the questions. You want them. Tell them it's them doing their job well. And I also want you to give them some structure. Make your preferences clear. If there are templates that they can use that will help them to manage up, to deliver information to you, then share that with them. Let them know when it's appropriate to interrupt you, when they should wait. And also reward the behavior. If they are flagging things early to you, if they are managing up well, let them know. Show appreciation for it. The invisible becomes visible when you explicitly teach it, not when you expect them to just figure it out. Now, here are some scenarios that allow everybody to see what this is like in action. So in this scenario, let's say your manager keeps missing deadlines. I don't want you to suffer in silence. What you need to do is just say, look, I know you're juggling a lot of things, but I need X information by a certain date to stay on track. If that's not doable, can you help me in terms of adjusting the timeline or finding another path? Be proactive in saying what it is that you need. In the next scenario, let's say you're overloaded and they keep adding more. I don't want you to just take it on and burn out. What I do want you to say and ask is just, how should I prioritize this? I'm working on A, B, and C, and now you've added D, and I just don't know quite how to manage all of this. Can we have a conversation about priorities? And one last scenario. Let's say they're about to make a decision that's going to create problems. Well, this is a situation that requires some discretion and care and respect. But you can't stay quiet and let it blow up. But what you can do is have a private conversation. You can share your concerns. You can talk about potential alternatives. Be direct, offer some solutions, but you can't let that go quiet. Now, this is what I mean when I say I'm making what's invisible visible. Managing up is everywhere in workplaces. It's happening all around you, but people just aren't naming it. So now you know. Now it is explicit. Now for Gen Z, know this. You are not selling out by being strategic. This is a skill. Managing up is going to serve you in every job. What it is at the end of the day is finding effective ways to communicate with a colleague. It's about understanding another person, their personality, their quirks, the ways in which you can get through and be understood. But here's a really important caveat. If you are genuinely trying to manage up and your manager isn't listening or engaging in good faith, that may be a sign that that team or that workplace isn't for you. It's okay to move on when things can't be resolved through open conversation and genuine effort. And for managers, if you want people to manage up, make that expectation visible. Teach it, model it, and make it safe. If this helped you see your workplace differently, please subscribe. That's how you'll catch the next Untold Rule. You now have the frameworks and you have some language. So go make what's invisible visible in your own workplace. I look forward to seeing you again.